Hi, I'm Glen Hiemstra from futurist.com. This is futurist.com TV. Today we're at a unique housing project, an exhibit, with Tammie Schacher, who's a principal in a Seattle-based architecture firm called Methuen. And she's going to show us around this housing unit here in just a little bit, but we're going to ask her a few questions first. Hi, Tammie.
Hi.
Tell us a little bit about Methuen architecture first.
Well, Methuen is a 50-plus-year-old architecture firm. We focus on integrated design and stewardship to the planet. So we focus all of our work on sustainable design practices, which also include landscape architecture, interior design, urban planning, and architecture.
So everything is focused around sustainability, which is one of the things that attracted us to this exhibit. This is an exhibit of a unique kind of housing unit, a manufactured housing unit. Tell us a little bit about how this came together.
This was an interesting project. Unico Properties came to Methuen and asked us to consider a way of doing affordable apartments in downtown Seattle that would be different, that would be affordable, and that could be of a more modern aesthetic. And after some feasibility work comparing the use of cargo containers as stackable apartment units and the idea of wood frame modular construction, we found that wood frame construction gave us the opportunity for more repetitive design, more affordability, and an opportunity to really do something more sustainable. Although cargo containers seems like a novel idea, there's actually quite a few stumbling blocks to using them. So we enlisted the help of a very new manufacturer in Burlington, Washington called Transform. And they were just opening their doors, so they didn't have any stock plans yet. Okay. They didn't have any real projects yet. So it was an opportunity for us to step in and help them develop their portfolio a little bit, get themselves on the map, an opportunity for them to build something. And their values are very close to the values of not only Methuen but Unico, which is sustainable design, affordability, a modern aesthetic, and durability.
So if it was based on initially the idea of cargo containers, that sounds kind of tiny.
Yes.
How big are those units that we're going to see?
So the two units that we have here in this demonstration, one of them, the one we're sitting in, this is 450 square feet of livable space, which is about the size of a typical two-car garage. And it also includes, in this unit, some exterior space. Downstairs, the unit is the full module wide and long of 675 square feet. So these are pretty tiny.
So, but not that tiny. They don't feel tiny when you're in there.
They don't.
As we'll see when we walk around.
They don't. And another aspect, once we got past that, the feasibility study, the idea where we really thought we could do something that would be different, that could be affordable and doable, we took on the next step of developing these prototypes. And that gave us a couple of opportunities. It not only gave us the chance to learn how to do this. The contractor, you have to have a site contractor to work on this work, and the manufacturer learned to work together. The architects learned to work with both of those contractors, and we work with the state and the city. So it was a huge learning process, building essentially a big full-scale model. It also gave us a chance to prove to everyone that small spaces could be very livable. And the opportunity for someone to walk into a space that you tell them is the size of a two-car garage and be able to say, but I could live here, it doesn't feel that small, had everything to do with the success of the project. And as we move forward with the apartments, people can say, I've been in that unit, it doesn't feel small, it lives very large for the amount of square feet that you actually get.
And what is your experience in terms of any kind of market research that says there's a demand for this kind of housing? I mean, what's driving this need for a smaller space, more affordable space that you guys are seeing as you look at various kinds of projects around the country?
What we're finding is that when you look at sustainable design practices, we all know that we have to be moving to the urban centers. We can't be continuing to take over the green fields. And so we have to start pulling people downtown. In order to make that affordable, we need to get more units on a smaller space. Okay. So just the necessity of having to keep it affordable meant we had to keep them small. We also are finding that most people, when they came in and gave us their feedback on the project, felt that this was something that just didn't exist. This aesthetic, this very clean, crisp design just doesn't exist downtown right now. And we're finding there's a whole generation of people who feel that there isn't really an apartment option for them out there that takes into account their social need to be sustainable and to be accountable to the planet. And so that's where this gives them that opportunity.
And I know we're at the tail end of the exhibit that you've done here in downtown Seattle. How was it received? What kind of response did you get?
The response has been overwhelmingly positive. We've brought probably 2,000 people through these units over the last 9 months, and everybody loves them. Whether it's that it just feels very open and clean and crisp, or that the kitchens, although they are small, are very usable. Well, the big windows, for one thing. Everybody comes in, and a lot of people would say, I just want to live here. Can I just take it right here? And people want to live downtown. And finding that this is going to be available downtown has been, they just can't wait. Can't wait for them to be built.
So what are some of the big advantages about this kind of construction, this kind of modular construction, manufactured construction that you guys have learned through this project?
Well, we've learned a lot. And I think one of the main aspects is that this can be built in a factory in an enclosed setting without worrying about the elements. So we can create these modular units that aren't exposed to the rain or the weather until it's time for them to actually be set. So what we can be doing on any site is building your concrete parking structure, if that's what you're going to be building, or your garage, and your unit can be being built in the factory at the same time. And when you get a nice day like today, you schedule these to come out, and we can put them up in a matter of weeks. So you get, although you don't get as big of a cost difference from, you're putting the same materials together, what you do gain is this opportunity to have them open for rent or for sale 3 to 6 months faster. We also found that when they're being built in a factory, the quality standards are a lot different than they are if you're building on the site. They're building in an assembly line, so people know exactly what their job is as it's working through the assembly line, so the quality is much nicer. We also have the opportunity to reject anything that isn't up to the standard before it gets actually released to be trucked out. We're finding that this type of construction is just as durable as any other wood frame construction. This is built exactly the same way as any other house is, 2x6 walls, gyp board, all of that. But because it has to be trucked down on the back of a truck, it actually is more durable. They have to be able to withstand about a 2-hour earthquake, really. So they're a lot beefier and a lot stronger.
Yeah, it feels very beefy is a good word when you walk into it.